Good afternoon and welcome to your weekly FX Options Report. Today is Wednesday, November 18th, 2009. In today's session, the U.S. equity markets are seeing some consolidation. Meanwhile, the global equity markets are trading mixed. Now, here in the U.S., there is some caution following weaker than expected home construction figures. Earlier this morning, the Commerce Department reported that housing starts were down sharply in October, down by 10.6% to a season-adjusted annual rate of 529,000 units. That is the lowest seen since April of this year. Meanwhile, building permits were also lower, down by 4% to 552,000 units in October. And in other economic data releases that came out earlier, October CPI came in higher, up by 0.3% in the month of October. The core CPI figure was up by 0.2% in October. And switching our focus on over to the spot FX market, the US dollar is trading lower against both the euro as well as the Japanese yen. At the same time, the dollar has paired overnight losses. Now, euro dollar has tried but failed to take out the 1.50 level, where some expiring options related orders are thought to be placed. And in terms of other currency pairs, let's take a look at the sterling. Now, the latest BOE meeting minutes were released earlier today, and the central bank discussed a possible cut in the deposit rate on bank reserves. This did come as a surprise to the market, and this did see the British pound sell off against the major currencies. Now, the British MPC was split in a three-way vote on the expanded BOE's bond purchase program. Now, one way to trade your views on US dollar strength or weakness is to take a look at ICE's FX options. One advantage is that they are US dollar denominated. For more information, you can go to www.fxoptions.com. And in our next segment, we'll take a closer look at the individual IC FX option pairs. And let's start out by looking at dollar Aussie, which is ticker symbol AUX. Now, in the short term, caution is advised as the RSI lacks downward momentum. The preference of trading central analysts is short positions below the 112.50 mark, with targets standing at 105.05 and 102 in extension. Now let's take a look at dollar sterling, which is ticker symbol BPX. Now the downside does prevail and the pair is challenging its support. The RSI is trading mixed to bearish, and the preference of trading central analysts is short positions below 62, with targets standing at 58.70 and 56 in extension. Now let's take a look at dollar CAD, which is ticker symbol CDD. Caution is advised for this pair. The intraday technical indicators are mixed and do call for caution. The preference of trading central analysts is short positions below 108.50, with targets standing at 102.05 and 100 in extension. Now let's move on to dollar euro, which is ticker symbol EUI. Now the pair is under pressure and it does remain within a bearish channel and is expected to face further weakness. The preference of trading central analysts is short positions below 68.50, with targets standing at 66.40 and 65.50 in extension. Now let's move on to dollar Swiss franc, which is ticker symbol SFC. Now the downside does prevail and the pair has struck against its intermediary resistance but does remain under pressure. The RSI is also capped by a declining trend line. The preference of trading central analysts is short positions below the pivot of 103.50, with targets standing at 100.30 and 99 in extension. And last but not least, let's take a look at dollar yen, which is ticker symbol YUK. Now it is under pressure and it is currently challenging its intermediary support, with the RSI on the downside. The preference of trading central analysts is short positions below the pivot of 92.40, with targets standing at 87 and 85 in extension. And now in our next segment, we will take a look at the IC FX options weekly trend opinion. Now last week, the US dollar did strengthen and positions suffered from unexpected spikes, especially for dollar CAD, which is ticker symbol CDD. Now, keeping that in mind, let's take a look at the portfolio performance. It currently stands at 1,287.76 since its inception of August 2007. And since the beginning of this year, the portfolio is up by 656.77%. And now we will bring you a few trade alerts. First and foremost, we will start out with this week's new trade alert. Now, Trading Central did recommend in their last follow-up to consider puts in the Swiss franc, a dollar Swiss franc, ticker symbol SFC. The daily RSI does remain capped by a medium-term declining trend line, and the pair is also approaching its support. Now, Trading Central does think that the US dollar will face more weakness, and as a result of that, they do recommend looking at both the BPX as well as the YUK. Now, next week, Trading Central analysts will be cautious, but They still think that exotic pairs, including the NZD as well as the AUX, still hold their bearish momentum. They will also continue to monitor the CDD as well as dollar Swedish krona, which is ticker symbol SKA. Now, keeping that in mind, the dollar EK is still on the downside and challenging its support, which is set at 67.50, although the RSI does call for caution. And that does wrap it up for this week's weekly FX Options Report. Make sure to tune in next Wednesday for your latest update. Thanks for watching and have a great day.